Hi there, it's Kathy from Maryland. Welcome. I thought I would show my face because one of my friends said that her husband is calling me Thing now because all he sees is my hands. Oh my God, what a riot. So anyway, I just wanted to say hi. I wanted to pop on today because I've been having a lot of fun coffee staining papers. I just have these file folders I wanted to coffee stain, some envelopes, some picture frame type things. And I was watching one of Gayle Agostinelli. I'm saying her last name wrong. I'm so sorry, Gayle. And she was making these amazing clusters with these just coffee dyed papers and stamps. And I thought, I want to do that. So we're going to have some fun today. First of all, before I do another thing, I have to introduce you to my new assistant, Audette. I got this for Christmas. I actually requested it. I know I'm a little too old for stuffed animals, but sometimes you just need to have something in your craft room that inspires you. And Audette is an ostrich. Let me just show you her beautiful plumage. And anyway, she sits on a shelf. Look at these soft feet. She's so soft. She sits on a little shelf in my craft room, and she's inspiring to me. So she is my new assistant. Just wanted to introduce you. So we're going to stamp. I have a bunch of really great Tim Holtz stamps. We're just going to stamp the coffee stained papers, and then I'm going to cut them up into some tag shapes and cluster shapes and smaller shapes because I recently had a birthday. I'm not telling you how old I am. And for my birthday, I have been wanting bugs. Oh, some people like chocolate. I like bugs. So I've been wanting to buy Tim Holtz's Sissix release of the bugs and the die cuts. So I might just stamp some of these and just do a little marker watercolor on them and use them to make some small little bug tags. And then the other thing I got myself for my birthday was some pressed flowers. So on a couple of the picture frames, I'm just going to laminate a couple flowers and just show you what I'm going to do with those. So anyway, it's going to be fun. I'm going to turn the cameras down. Welcome. And I'm only doing one take on this. So I don't know what I look like. It's really hard when you do a video because you can't really see yourself until you finally go to the editing. So sometimes I do like 5 and 6 and then I'm like, no, I'm not doing it. But this time, I promise you, I'm only doing one, and for better or for worse, I know my hair is a little crazy today. I just want to say hi and say welcome and show you my face. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing and commenting and all of the above, and I hope you're enjoying my videos. Okay, let's turn the cameras down. Okay, so I'm going to use a piece of brown paper underneath just to protect my desk. Yeah, I had a whole pack of these manila file folders I got at a secondhand store, and I'm like, oh, these are perfect for some stamping. I've juiced up my ink pads. I finally needed to take a little bit of the Archival ink and get them rejuiced, so I think we're good with that. And first we're going to use this Stampers Anonymous Papillion, CMS 106. So let's do a little bit on here with that. I'm just thinking how fun. We'll just make some tags, some clusters. And I'm really not one so much for mass making. However, you know what? I am putting gloves on. I've done some projects recently where at the end I needed to fill some pockets with some ephemera, some tags and different things, and I had to make it. And I mean, it's okay, you know, it didn't take so long, but I thought, oh, how nice it would have been to have a box with just some nice vintage ephemera that I could put in those. I'm gonna just use this to help myself. Let's just go this way. I'm gonna go over the edges. This doesn't have to be perfect by any means. Say I kind of want it a little bit light like that. And what I thought I would do so I can use this for different things is I'm going to turn it some different directions just so it won't matter. It's kind of multi-directional. Now, maybe we should go in with some butterflies. I also want to do some just the butterfly. Actually, let's just do that right now. We'll just do one right here. Just the butterfly, that's pretty. It's almost like a collage. You go to cut it up and you've got just this beautiful paper that you can get some different designs from. Let me do this again over here. Oh yeah, I had so much fun coffee dyeing this paper. I added some lace and a couple different elements, and it really got some cool pieces. I'm just trying to use up what I have. We're just going to put some right across the bottom of that. Great. I'm not even thinking about this too much. I just want to get some cool elements on here. That would be so pretty with something in the middle, so I don't really want to put a number there. We're going to do some of these too. Stampers Anonymous Perspective CMS 213. These are great stamps as well. It says, discovering it's the one thing life will constantly ask of you. How true is that, huh? Oh yeah, that's nice. There is beauty in simplicity. I would say amen to that. Yeah. So there's one done. Let's do another one. I also did some smaller pieces of some kind of thicker paper. So let's do this in the perspectives. This is great. Yep. Isn't Audette the cutest? I saw that and I said to my daughter, she wanted to know what to get me for Christmas. I said, I know this is very weird. You're going to think I'm a total weirdo, but I want a stuffy for my craft room. And I saw Audette and I was like, oh, there she is. That's the one. That is the one. You have to have things around you as you're creating that make you smile, that just give you that little bit of inspiration. And that little ostrich to me has quite the character in that little face. And every time I look at it, I smile. So yeah, she's my new assistant. Live your dream with passion. So this is what I had bought a while ago to do cards. I thought that I was going to do some picture frame cards. So what I've done is coffee stand, and I'm pulling them apart like so. I'm trying not to destroy them in the process, and just cutting off that front panel. I'll cut that up a little bit better in a minute here. And I thought this would be great with a pressed flower or something, anything laminated in there, or maybe a Tim Holtz paper doll. I want to go back to the French. I might not even need a block with that one, but it just gives me a little extra pressure that I like. So I am going to just go over that and try to get the edges. I think that is going to be great. So I bought this about a month ago, and I've only used it once. It's Hodgepodge CMS 490, and I got it because it's just one big stamp. And I thought how great that would be to do something just like this if I wanted to stamp the back of a tag, or, you know, do something large. Ooh, it's a little light. That's okay, because you know what? We got the other side. And actually, I don't mind when the background is a little bit light on some of these, because sometimes that black just takes over. But we are cutting it up. Oh, Lord. Okay. I think this needs to get flipped over. I think what I'll do is just do half at a time. And that way, I might have better luck getting a nice impression. Yeah, that's nice, but it's still, that might be all I'm going to do with that, because I don't even like, it's just kind of a little busy for me. So let's keep moving. This is another one. Bought a long time ago, Architecture CMS 369, and I've wanted to use this. so bad. And this could be really cool with something over it. Like I'm thinking a fussy cut, beautiful botanical or something. Love it. Yep. That's what I'm talking about. See the difference between, for me, for doing something that needs, I'm going to layer it. This is so much more, this is too dark for me and too busy. It's got its place, but for what I want to do, these are more of what I'm looking for. Nice. Oh, I like that a lot. Now that to me is perfect. This is another very cool one, kind of steampunk. It's called Inventor 1 CMS 340. This is equally as cool to me as the architecture. I love this. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, that's neat. Cut up, that will be cool. I like that. Okay, so I think I have enough stamped. I did 3 little picture frames. I did some numbers, and I actually, if you can tell, I embossed those because I love having these as well. And then what I did is I went back in and added some of this Archival coffee just to add a little variation, and I really like the way that looks. So I went back over a few of them and then added a little bit of that. I am going to cut these up. We'll do that together, but I wanted to show you. I stamped my bugs. I did a few in brown. I just opened up one of these envelopes. It's a pretty thick envelope, and stamped those. So what I would like to do, I was thinking I should probably color these before it would be easier anyway, I think, to color them before I die cut them. So I've got all these cool little die cuts, and so those, I tried to separate them enough, so I'm going to put it through and do them all at once, I think. That's my plan anyway. What I thought might be the best thing to use is markers for this. I was going to use watercolor, and then the more I looked at it, the bodies of these and where I want to add a little color is because of the ink is so dense. I don't think the watercolor would show up so much. So I'm going to use some of my markers. This is what was on the Sissix, so you can see what they did. Because the body's black, they just added a little yellow into the wings. I also was thinking I might want to emboss these a little bit because I love shiny bugs. So I think the embossing part is going to have to happen afterwards, because I'd have to do each one individually while the marker was wet. Because you know the beauty of embossing powder is it will stick to really whatever as long as it's wet. I'd have to go back with my perfect medium and do each one separately. Well, let's try one. Let's see how that would be. I've got these Tombow water-based markers. And you know what? I just decided I don't want to rush to keep this wet, so I am going to go ahead and try this, and then I'll do the perfect medium afterwards. Yeah, I really don't want to rush doing this. This is not what I want to do. perfect. I love them. So what I'm going to do next is take some of my Ranger Medium, and I won't emboss all of them. I'll just do a few. So I've just got some Hero Arts clear embossing powder. Then I'm going to go back and take these beautiful little die cuts and lay them on. I'll add a tiny little piece of washi tape to kind of hold them in place because they really need to stay put. So, you know, those little tiny legs and things. And they probably won't be perfect, but that's okay. So I'm going to do that, and then I shall return. So here's my bugs. I love them. I ended up going around the outside with a little bit of scorched timber, but really what was a lot easier to use was just a little black marker. There were little white areas around the legs I didn't like. When you ever do anything this intricate with a die cut, you're hardly ever going to get it exactly on there, but I love them. So while we have these out, I thought let's go ahead and just put those on a few tags. I did want to show you this, that I keep these, and these look really great. If you have a piece of patterned scrapbook paper and you just want to add something to a corner, you know, I love using those negative imprints. So I cut out the ones that I thought I would use, and I am going to save those because I thought those were great. I cut a few of my coffee dyed papers into smaller pieces, a couple rounds and some little squares. And I thought, let's just glue some of these little bugs on here, and then we'll cut up the larger ones together. Now, I may take a corner and rounder and do a little bit of you know, slanted corners or rounded corners, but I just thought, let's just start with this. Let's see what would look nice on here. And again, this is interesting because this paper, okay, let me just talk about this. I'm going to back up for a minute. So part of the paper I used to coffee stain was manila folders, and the other ones were white, kind of cardstock and some paper, but I have to say I really like this color better. I mean, look at that. It's just a preference, I think. They're both okay, but I prefer the lighter color. So I'll know for next time when I coffee stain, I'll start with white and not manila, unless I really want this darker yellowy type stain. So that's all I wanted to say about that. They're still going to be great. And let's start with a round one, actually. These are nice. Oh, this is so great. I actually like that. But see, my question is, if this were live, it doesn't show up enough. See what I'm saying? Even bright as it is, let's try a red one. The red one is actually okay, but that's a little bit too big. I can get a different punch for that. Yeah, I just don't think they show up enough. Let's do this so I can just get this out of my head. I'm going to punch a few of these with a little bit of the lighter, and let's see if it makes a big difference. Okay, here we go. I don't want to waste any of this great paper. Okay, let's just do one. See if I'm just being totally cray-cray about this, but I don't think I am. Yeah, see the difference? So let's take maybe that one again, one of these. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this on there, and let's see how that looks. Now, believe me, none of that other darker stuff will go to waste, and I think the way to remedy it is to layer it with lighter paper. That's all. Simple. Let's take a little bit of scorched timber and go around the outside. That, to me, is just really nice. I love that. Okay. So let's see what happens. Other thing I could do, if that's my remedy, is I could put something under there that is a little bit lighter. That's not a bad idea. I had done that at a different point in time. Let's just see what this would look like. I'm not sure that I want that scorched timber. I think I want a little vintage photo for this one. I mean, cheesecloth would be the other thing.
The only thing with cheesecloth is you can't really glue down small parts to the cheesecloth, so that may not work. But this, let's see what this would look like. I'm going to go ahead and just get that glued on. I think we need it the wider way for the butterfly. Just put that on there. Yeah. Okay, we are in business. Now that I like. Just going to round the corners a little bit. I like doing it upside down because if the corner isn't right in where it's supposed to go, and it's not a perfect 90-degree angle, it doesn't work. To me, that is cute. I like that. So we've got those two cute guys. So what I think I should do is get myself some layers of white, and we'll glue on a few more of these cute bugs together, and then we'll cut my other bigger paper just into tags, no other fancy things happening. So I shall return. Okay, so I've stamped a couple more. I added a little bit of lumberjack plaid on there with that specimen tag, just to make it interesting. So I'll do a couple with the 1.5-inch punch. And we'll just see what we get. And then maybe I'll even do some with the larger punch. I think that for demonstration is enough. So these aren't quite as light as the first one I did. First of all, let's go around it. Make that layer stand out a little bit. So maybe this guy would even be cool. See, this is a good learning thing for me too. Just playing with different shades of staining. So I'm really glad I'm doing this with you guys. Okay. All right, we'll do a couple more. These are so fun. I think we're going to just do him on there by himself. I love that. I've got this little tiny ant, a red ant, who's so cute. And I had a couple of small little tags. Let's see what that would look like on there. That's cute. Is a cutie pie. Let's do the smaller one. Look at those fingers. Wow, aren't those pretty? Look. Are we liking this, guys? Okay, so anyway, as you can see, I could do this all afternoon. But I wanted to give you an idea of what you could use your coffee stained papers for. And believe me, I'm going to have some fun with this. But I'm not going to do it right now because I just wanted to do one more thing with you. Go ahead and put these guys in a tray. So what I would like to do is cut some of these into tags. And I love how those picture frames came out. I ended up doing some, did I show you this already? Some large numbers, I think I did. Love. So let's put the picture frames aside because I don't know if we're going to have time for that. But I would like to fave. That's a fave. This is definitely one of my favorites. There's that. And this is nice too. I'm going to cut them into some different shapes that I can make rounded corners and blunt corners on. Just thinking about tags. What I'd like to do first is just maybe clean up some of the edges that need a little help. So pretty. And truthfully, that could be in a journal. That was the other thing I was thinking, is these could be pockets. I might not cut that up just yet. Okay, So you can see I have a wide array of tags and numbers, and I've just cut different corners in them, and I'm very happy with how this came out. Because of time, I am going to move the dried flower in that little beautiful picture frame that I stamped, or whatever you want to call it, photo frame, for another day. Put a couple different holes in the tops. These just came out great. I did some pockets because I use pockets a lot in my journals, so I'll have those. I did some bookmarks that would have I might fussy cut a really pretty flower or something to go down the middle of that. Some of them I didn't punch because sometimes I like putting a fabric tab on top. Happy with those. And then just some rounded corners. So some of them I left a little bit plainer so I can use for clusters. Like these, they're pretty much just rectangles with some of my corners, some of them I didn't, but just great, great paper. I just am very happy with how these came out. Put a wider fat tags that I like a lot. Sometimes what I'll do is put slits in these and then just use them on a page and put little stamps or something in and just back it with the journal page or whatever, but that's perfect for that. And then of course our beautiful little bugs, don't forget those. These came out great. I'm so happy with these. So I would say this was a successful mass making, I'm saying the word, of some coffee stained paper and making some tags, some bases for clusters and collage, and elements for a journal. And I will put this in a bin, and I'm sure you'll see it in the future in my work. But anyway, thanks guys. Thanks for being here. And I hope you try this for yourself. Of course, I took the extra time to do the embossing. It's just something I like doing. You don't have to. I just like the way that makes those little guys shine and sparkle. And it's fun. And of course, all of these need to be inked, maybe. I mean, the manila ones probably don't. But I'm going to do that as I go. I'm not getting crazy about that. I think that I would probably ink these with some vintage photo, and that'll really make those nicer. But the other manila cards with the coffee stain, they're already stained. I don't get too crazy with that, but I think that does make a difference for that. So I will go ahead and ink those. But anyway, thanks for being here. I hope you've enjoyed this project. Try it for yourself. Love you guys. Bye.